Okay, so the goal is to stain 2,500 square feet of hardwood flooring here. And what we did is rented the sander, everything rented from Home Depot. So what you're going to get is the big belt sander. I think it runs about $58 a day. It's well worth it. You're going to use 36 grit and 80 grit sandpaper. Start with the 36, then you're going to go back over it with the 80. We tended to get about 500 square feet with the 36 and about 300 square feet with the 80. The 80s we used a lot more because I just wanted a fresh sandpaper really hitting that floor. Next thing we did is rented the corner sander from Home Depot. It's a circular, goes on the ground at $33 a day. That uses these small discs. So again, for that we did a 36, then an 80. We started with a 60. I thought maybe we could get away with just running a 60, but with the floors being so rough here, it actually really burned up the sander. So we had to go back. We're actually getting burn marks on the floor. So if you're getting burn marks on the floor, go to a less grit, like a 36. One thing with the belt sander, going back to that for a second, just a couple tips that I learned while using it. When you first set it down on the floor, it's going to dig in. And so what you want to do is stagger it, where you set it on the floor. On the next run, set it about 2 feet up, and then 2 feet back on the next run. Because as you set it down, it's going to divot no matter what. And another thing, when you set it down, move it a little bit as you set it. So you're kind of rolling it back, so it doesn't have that chance to just dig into the wood and cause a, what we noticed on some of our earlier things was a divot, actually a full divot, where in the areas where you set it down. So watch uneven surfaces with it. We had a lot of uneven surfaces, so you had to go back later with the other sanders, smaller sanders, and get in there. And then I found myself really pulling up on it almost the whole time I was using it to really dig through that wood, because where we're looking at here, and I'll show you the wood in a minute, but it's really rough wood, so we really had to dig down. So I was pulling up on that sander just about the whole time, and as long as I was moving evenly, I didn't have any problems. Let's see, then we had to go to, you're going to need a small sander too, one of these, to get the corners, because the corner sander you get from Home Depot will not get all the way into the corners. So to get, what we ended up having was a rounded area at the end here and a triangle that needed to be done. So we actually just used my home sander to look something like that, and had to go around at the end and get the corner areas. So also remember, once you get all that sanded out, or even before, take the quarter round off of the wall so that you can come back, you can get as far in there as you can, because you only want to leave a 1/4 inch. Now talking about the stain, when it came to the staining portion, there were two things that I think worked really well. One was this deck pad we used for the edges. So we had one person just start on the edges, and then the next person, now this thing we thought was really great. It's a lambskin cloth that we got at Home Depot. They're about $10 each. And this thing really lasted for the whole first coat. It did a really nice job. I guess when you get it, you're supposed to pull off some of the wool here, because some of it will pull off. You don't want it to get in your stains. So this would be the second thing I would recommend. You see, you screw the handle right in there, and it really soaks it up and just lops it on. We had all 2,500 square feet done in about 45 minutes with 3 people. And I did it alone this morning on the second coat, and it took me about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So it really goes quick, really quick. So where we're at right now is the second coat is down. I still am waiting to polyurethane. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. They say to wait about 8 hours for it. I think it's been about 7 hours right now, and I think it really it needs a lot more time to dry. And we have fans going in here and a lot of things. So one other thing is we spent a lot of time in between sanding and staining First we have used our vacuum cleaner and put it on hardwood floor and went really slow over the whole surface and then mopped it. And that seemed to really bring up a lot of the dust and things. But first, let me show you a quick of what it's looked like when we started and then where we're at now. And then it'll just kind of continue and show you some of the steps we took and kind of some before after shots of where we're at. All right? This is basically what we started with. Pretty light, pretty beat up. A lot of spots on it. And then this is where we're at now after 2 coats. And this is with natural is the type. So you can see it's an old floor. I do see some spots on there, but okay, next we'll show you. Okay, a couple things I want to disclose. One, when we did the stain, we did not use a rag to remove it. We just brushed it on and tried to keep it even. That's not what's recommended. Second thing, in between staining, we did not sand. And after staining the polyurethane, I didn't sand either. I ran a vacuum over it, and I wanted to show you kind of a half and half with the polyurethane. Also, you're not supposed to let sunlight enter the room where you're doing any of this. I'm letting that happen. So we're kind of bending the rules, but one thing I read online is a myth, is they said that sanding in between polyurethane makes no difference. It doesn't make it stick any better. So I'm rolling with that, and we're not going to stain. Let me show you the 50-50 here, kind of what it's looking like. It's really adding a nice shine to it, and it might be hard to see in the sunlight, but that's what it's going to look like compared to post stain to post polyurethane.